Hello, everyone, and we'd like to welcome you to Practical Balance. I'm your host, Jen Westlake of Soululaire, joined by and with Janice Whiting of Lifted Spirits. Hey, Janice, how are you doing?
Fabulous. Always fabulous. I know.
I wonder why I even ask you, because I already know what the answer is going to be.
True.
So,
True.
well, that's good. That's good. So, how has your week been?
Very good. Very hot.
Uh-huh.
My plants aren't really that happy.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but not a problem in the world. I just give them drinks all day, every day.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
And my dogs don't even want to go outside. They're like, I open the door, they quick run out, they potty, they quick run back in and then lay on the cool tile.
Well, that's nice. I'm glad that they've got cool tile to lay on. My kitty cat, our patio is shaded, so she's actually enjoyed going outside and just laying on a lawn chair and just kind of lounging around all day long. So I think she's happy too.
Nice.
So yeah. But there's been a few days that have been really hot, and she too has not wanted to go outside for very long. So yeah, kind of just going through a heat wave right now here.
I think it's a crazy geographical, geographical, every kind of adjustment right now. I'd be surprised if there wasn't even another earthquake. It's just everything's being shaken up, from the heat to the virus, maybe to an earthquake, to or some flooding somewhere. It's just unbelievable. So it's going to be one challenge after another.
Yeah. How much of that do you think is manipulated weather? Weather modification, weather warfare. Do you think any of this,
I think
this from that?
50% is, and then the other 50%, even if man creates it, I've noticed that spirit, they say that if they didn't support it, they would stop it. So they still let man create many things, and they watch and observe.
Can we like pray to spirit and ask for rain and override whatever's happening with the weather?
Well, my husband was joking the other day that he did like a naked rain dance and it did rain. So
sounds like my husband too.
So there might be something to that. I didn't.
I know. I remember.
I didn't want to scare away the coyotes even. Or the birds.
Exactly. Yeah, it's for sure. So, but who knows? Maybe they'll get their day someday soon, But anyways, so what does Spirit want us to know today?
Well, there was a couple of things that they wanted to chat about, and one of them is passing. How humans, there are more people passing on Earth, but then people would say, oh, there's more people being born, but there's more people passing for not the reason of just to balance out the population. There's more people passing because they're choosing not to stay on Earth. But one of the things Spirit wanted humans to know is no souls come to this Earth or leave this Earth without their approval. And it doesn't matter how you pass, even if it is a human, looks like a very human created event. The other side is watching. And if there was like a car accident, a bad car accident, and it's not time for that person to go, they will survive by magic. And if not, if it is time for them to go, then Spirit uses that opportunity to take the human off. So whether it's from a flood, an earthquake, a catastrophe, fall in their shower and hit their head or choke on a piece of chicken. It's all in the timing.
Right.
And so
Why
that's
are,
what they wanted humans to know. It doesn't matter how, it
Mhm.
just matters when.
So what's the purpose with so many people choosing to leave right now? What do they know on a soul level that the rest of us that are staying here don't know?
Many of them have opted just to leave this earth before things even become more challenging. Some have decided they want to finish their growth on the other side. Some might have decided they're done with the earth lessons and they'd rather not be in body or go to another world in a different body. So it's hard to explain it for how a human would want to think about the bigger picture of birthing and deathing, but there are many reasons.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a lot of people in my own life and in my own inner circle that have passed away recently. And I have to be honest, it's been quite challenging to have them go, because in my humanness, I'm thinking, well, these people that are leaving are the very people that we need to stay because they're good and they're of the light and they're loving and kind and compassionate. And we need them to be our examples and to help be our strength. And so it's just interesting that, so many people are leaving and,
Well, that's human logic. See, that's how humans would think. Spirit thinks humans think that way. And also humans think, I remember chatting with Spirit in a session when someone was talking about a child passing, and Spirit said, well, when is the right time? When is the right age? Humans think that all souls should stay on earth till they're old and maybe, pass from old age. But Spirit says there is no right or wrong way, and there is no right or wrong time because it is situational. So any way works to get them off this earth, and then and it happens at any age. It happens even from birth. The moment of birth, some souls opt not to live in the body. And then there are others who stay way over 100. And so Spirit never looks at it as a right or wrong time or a right or wrong way.
And each
they
soul
often let it be, the soul's choice.
So that was going to be my next question. So the soul is choosing to leave then.
If it's not aware of it consciously, it is on the soul level, and it's doing a dance with the other side as they create the opportunity.
Okay.
The opportunity is created that is allowed.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's very interesting to hear about that, because I know that when I had my near-death experiences, I wasn't quite ready to leave the earth plane yet. There were still more things that I wanted to experience. And I knew as a soul that I got to choose to come back. I've mentioned times before that, there's many near-death experience people around the world and have written books, and they didn't want to come back to earth, and yet Spirit said, nope, you're not done, you're going back. So it's interesting. So why didn't those souls get to stay?
Get to stay on the other side?
Yeah.
It is according to a soul's plan.
Okay.
A soul is birthed when it matches a soul's plan. A soul permanently leaves often when it matches the soul's plan. But one of the things that I've heard Spirit say, more humans now have more free choice in that arena than they used to. Often people that are what they call karmic lessons done, and they're often in the reward cycle of life or the service cycle of life. Often they just say, I feel done. And they can negotiate their way out. I knew a little 11-year-old girl that was years ago hit by a cement truck. And later, as I visited with Spirit and her mom about that, they said she had been asking to go for a long time. So she was only 11, but she was a wise soul and wanted to leave this earth. And so finally they said, all right. And then they lined up many circumstances so that the event could actualize. So, so on the other side's part, they think it's that they do a lot to create the pregnancy. I'm sure they do. And the soul wants to come. And they do a lot to create the events of a soul leaving this earth. And so they think they have their hands in a lot. Us humans don't,
right,
as a rule, understand. I get to be a bit privy to how they think, but most humans don't know how the other side thinks, the bigger picture.
I think, in my own case, I've had 2 family members pass away in the last month. My twin sister passed away, and then a sister-in-law has passed away 3 weeks later, which is quite a shock to our family, because our sister-in-law, that was a sudden death, kind of just unexpected. And so it's been kind of a shock. And in our humanness, it's always more difficult for those of us that are left behind, because we would like our loved ones to stay with us a bit longer. And it is going to take a little bit of adapting to the idea that it was the soul's choice, and the soul negotiated with Spirit to leave. But I can say that, when you leave, you are going to a very beautiful, loving place, and where many of our loved ones are working from the other side to help us, especially during these challenging times. It's always been my understanding that you can either, because I believe that we're in a war right now, and I believe that you can fight this war from this side of the veil, or you can help fight this war from the other side of the veil. What does Spirit think
and
about?
There are some who choose to leave, choose to leave to be either be assistance on a big picture, or often just to assist people, just to watch family and friends and loved ones and assist them from the other side. That happens too.
That's good. Well, and I hope that information can help bring some comfort to those of you watching this show today. This is a little bit of a difficult topic to talk about, and I encourage each one of you to kind of go within and see how you feel about this and what Spirit has to say. And if you have more questions about this topic, you can please email us at hello@soululaire.com so that we can maybe go a little bit more in depth to some of the queries that you have for Spirit on this topic and any other. So Janice, was there anything else that Spirit wanted us to know about why so many people are passing right now?
Well, I did want to mention that it doesn't bother me that people pass, but maybe that's because I can see and talk to the other side. And I have talked with family members who have passed to the other side. So I oddly don't grieve them passing. I just think, they just felt they were done. And it was either they knew it was time or they didn't. But I don't really grieve when humans pass. And I think that is from the dynamics of being able to see and talk to the other side and be more connected.
Mhm,
So as humans who have lost family members,
mhm.
um, recently or even a long time ago, you can build a relationship with the other side and be still connected to them,
Mhm.
which makes you feel still partnering, still family, still chatting about things. I've chatted with my uncles about my father. I've chatted about family and how they're, I've had those on the other side want to chat about one still living. And then I've had those on the other side just want to chat about how they're doing on the other side and how
Mhm.
they think, how well they think they played the game of Earth. So
Right.
I just never then feel disconnected.
Yeah.
And all humans, people will say to me, oh, you are special, you're different, you can see and talk to the other side. I say,
Mhm.
no, not true. All humans can do what I do. It is built into the spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual dynamics of their unit, of their
Mhm.
unit. And so
Mhm.
that's what the other side calls my body and how it all mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, how it integrates. They call me a unit.
How
So
interesting.
I know the unit, my package. So my
Yeah.
earthly package.
Right. Right.
And so as humans become more connected to the other side, playing the game of Earth, all of those challenges actually often don't seem that devastating.
Mhm. Mhm. So I have to say that, with my twin sister, I have gone through a process of grieving. But at the same time, I have not felt any kind of disconnect from her. And so I do
Mhm.
feel close to her. I do feel her close to me, and I feel that she's close to her kids and her husband. And so I feel that is a blessing for our family that we do and can still feel her. And
Mhm.
I remember a funny story when I was on the other side of the veil myself. And they gave me an example of the veil can be as thick or thin as you choose it to be. You can
Mhm.
have your veil be very thin, or you can choose your veil between this side and the other side to be as thick as a Coleman sleeping bag over your head, just like piling all these layers on you. So if you want to have a closer relationship with them and you want to be able to hear them more, start pulling off some of the
Yeah,
layers
absolutely.
so you can thin out your veil, this veil of amnesia or this veil of forgetfulness or whatever it is that's getting in between you and them, because it can be very, very thin. So it's up to you to choose and to how thin do you want to make your veil? How thin or how much do you want to be able to communicate and partner with the other side of the veil? Because it's completely your choice.
Actually, that's the exact same dynamics as the auric space. The auric space can be very thick, like a sleeping bag, especially for an angry person, an
Mhm.
authentic person, someone who always feels like a victim or worthless. And then it can be actually the auric space can be quite thin for someone who is empowered, content, complete, authentic.
Mhm.
And so that dynamics matches both scenarios,
So
the
maybe they were
veil of being connected to the other side, and then also the thickness of the auric space.
so maybe that they were just using that example to me to describe how the auric space works.
I'm
Because
sure. I'm
when you
sure. I'm sure our
communicate with you in a
individual
way you
veil is our
understand.
auric space. Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. Our thickness of our auric space. True.
right.
I have had people come to me very angry and their auric space was very thick. and they tried to keep me out, meaning not sneak in and be able to read them.
Uh-huh.
But I can. No one's kept me out yet.
Well, that's
try.
good. That's
They
good.
try. There hasn't been a person that I can't read yet. So, but they try.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So, um,
Should we talk about the next topic they want to talk about?
yeah, I think that's great. If there isn't anything else that they want to say about this one, let's move ahead on to the other topic they'd like us to know about today.
The other topic they want to talk about is gratitude. Humans think that having gratitude is a big key to manifesting. They say not true. Gratitude, look how many rich people aren't grateful. And they say, look around your world and you can see some of the wealthiest have the least gratitude. Gratitude is a necessary slice of your soulness for having your veil thin, having your auric space in your veil thinner. They say that's true. Gratitude is a big impact on the soul dynamics and the soul vibration, how you live on earth, how you peacefully, lovingly, joyfully, effortlessly, creatively live on earth, but it's not part of the law of manifesting. And humans need to separate that. If they say, if I was more grateful, I could manifest more. No, if you're more grateful, your soul's vibration will be higher, and you'll probably manifesting will be even more effortless. But they're not related. Gratitude is needed for the soul's evolution, and an important step, I think, for the mastering of ascension, which is trying to create a per se Christ-like soul and vibration while you're on earth trying to master multidimensional dynamics, if that makes sense. To you it does, I know. And if others that doesn't, they can ask.
We can talk about that more at another time.
But they're two separate laws. Like the physics of how color vibrates on earth is different than the physics of mathematics. I mean, they're still physics, but they're not the same slice of physics. They're under the umbrella of the physics of how the game of earth and the universe works. But they're not really related. You can put up a prism and get different colors, and it has nothing to do with math per se, the physics of math, sacred geometry.
Right.
Sacred geometry has different slices of sacred geometry, and we tackle them slice by slice and understanding by understanding. So Spirit wants to know that gratitude is not necessary for mastering the physics of manifesting abundance, or which could be a great job, can be money, can be a partner, can be a lovely house, it can be whatever. That humans think they're tied together. I'm sure there's many very grateful spiritual people that don't have millions. And also there are many people with millions who aren't grateful. Ta-da. See, that's evidence right there. They're not tied together.
So
do I think it would be fabulous to be a grateful person as you master manifesting? Absolutely. I think it's just moving you more closer to being magic and multidimensional.
So that leads me to ask the question. So gratitude, I do recognize is important, and, for raising our vibration and helping us to ascend. But for the mechanical physics aspect of manifesting, what does Spirit want us to know about what we can do to help improve our manifesting abilities?
You do whatever it takes to align to the vibration of manifesting. Often I just tell Spirit, I would like this. It will help assist me to master the game of earth better. And then boom, they just drop it in my lap. again, humans think gratitude, you have to have gratitude. They think you actually have to have worthiness. And Spirit says, oh, many very, very, very rich people don't feel worthy of the abundance that they've allowed in their life. But they, so I realize emotions and the physics of manifesting actually are only tied together by humans, if that makes sense. They're separate slices of the pie of mastering the game of Earth spiritually and trying to reach ascension. And then I'm sure there'll be a time when somebody asks us the question, well, what do you mean by ascension? Because many religions will say, you actually have to leave this earth for an ascended dynamics. And Spirit tells me, absolutely not. You can master ascension and master being multidimensional while you're still on earth. And so I do suggest that people then, if they want to understand that better, watch that movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson. She, in the movie, goes from the experience of being a very human so to the most multidimensional energetic being, all in 1 hour and a half movie. You get to see it. You get to see her pull it off on Earth.
Right.
Which is what we are trying to do as humans as we live on Earth.
Right. Yes, I remember when that movie came out, I thought that was a very fascinating illustration of
ascension,
of learning and growing and the ascension process.
Yep.
But in the movie, hers was more of a physical, where she was able to get more capacity in her brain. But that
was only supported by her spiritual. You could actually tell that as she became more advanced, she could manipulate atoms with thought. She could also, her emotions were kept in check. She didn't really, as she advanced, her emotions became less humanly emotional. And at the end, you could see her spiritual and emotional and mental understanding was very peaceful and altruistic. So though the movie focused more on the mental and physical changes, there was definitely emotional and spiritual changes that they didn't delve into, that I've gotten to sit and chat with Spirit about. But it had to evolve on a spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical level.
Yeah, exactly.
It had to. It's just how the game of Earth is.
Right. Exactly. Well, that was very interesting topics that Spirit wanted us to talk about today. I hadn't really thought about gratitude not actually being necessary to actually manifest something, but it is a nice bonus to have the gratitude for a higher vibration and to assist in our ascension process. And also to just kind of remind people about the first topic. We are spirits having a physical experience here on Earth. And because we live in a free will universe, it does make sense that our soul can decide when you're done with your physical experience and when you want to leave and move on, go home or move on in a different capacity or in a different dimensional dynamic. So I'm really grateful for the topics that Spirit wanted us to talk about today, Janice.
And as far as gratitude and manifesting, people may say, how do I manifest?
Yes.
And I say, then you intend and allow. You intend it. The other side, and there's not one atom better than the other atom. Humans value judge the atoms. Humans will say
Mhm.
a Mercedes is better than a Buick, a brand new Mercedes.
Okay.
But the atoms, one atom is really not better than another atom.
Mhm.
Humans are the ones who add value judgment to the atoms, ergo that affects their manifesting ability. Make sense?
Yes,
So
it
the other
does.
side, they're just atoms. The other
Uh-huh.
side could care less if you had a Mercedes or a Buick.
Uh-huh.
If you said, I need reliable transportation,
Mhm.
and I would love it to please have them be fabulous atoms. they and they would say, what's your choice of fabulous atoms? And you could say, oh, a Mercedes or a Buick or a Ram truck or and then they'd say, okay, well then we'll help you attract those. We'll help. And but they could care less what house you have, what car you have, what clothes you have. They do not care. Humans care. Humans care.
Yes, they do. Yes. So I'm glad that you gave us that additional clarification. Is there anything else that you want to share before we need to close out for today?
Well, they are saying that you came to Earth with nothing, you'll leave with nothing. They don't care what you play with while you're here, as long as you don't define your value by those atoms.
Exactly, exactly. So I think that is a really good point to leave our show for today. I want to thank all of you for watching and for joining us. And again, if you have any questions that you'd like us to ask Spirit so we can query a little deeper on some of these topics, you can please email us at hello@soululaire.com. And we'd like to thank you for joining us. And our contact information will be listed in the description box below. And we hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful, magical day. Thank you so much.
Blessings to you all.
Bye-bye.